Yesterday was a bit of a throwaway day in the crypto market, and that's okay. We can have those days. We did a little bit of that chop like we were talking about in these ranges, so it's not very surprising. What I will say though is ADA had a green day, Ethereum had a green day, most alts did, while BTC was actually showing a little bit of red. But what I think is funny here is something that was the exact fuel that helped carry us up to these levels hasn't learned its lesson, and it has in fact returned. And this may be exactly the thing that does help carry us to some higher price points as we work through these next few days and into the early part of next week. So we're going to talk about all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So ADA right now, it's about 6:12 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're in the weekend, obviously, and ADA's floating around 80 cents. We had a green candle day yesterday, green candle day today. It's a great spot to be. We're above 78 cents. So this is exactly what I like to see entering the weekend. This is obviously a very significant drop-off day in terms of volume. Right now, we're down to about $140 billion over the last 24 hours, down from about $200 billion the prior day. I would not be surprised if this is a little bit higher volume of a weekend. That tends to be what the theme is when you come in off of a significant pump. And now it's a question of, do we have that resilience? Do we hold? I will say right now, BTC kind of holding around that 103 to 104K range is a very promising sign for the crypto market. And I just happen to look back at some of these prior bars that we were talking about. We're actually a little bit extended from what this one was. I can't even remember the time frame on this one when it was from, but just looking at the prior rally here from last summer, this is where it would look like as well. So BTC is actually just slightly ahead of schedule, which is, I guess, a great sign. Can't really complain about that. And this is obviously causing altcoins to get a little bit lively. Just want to look back as well at ADA compared to I did this earlier too, last summer. And you guys can see that we did, in fact, dip a little bit lower on our trends here, and it took us just a little bit longer to kind of start this move. But, this might be where we're potentially headed towards. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen for sure, but we are printing some very promising signs. Now, I do want to highlight just a few things going on here. China is actually sending Xi's security czar to trade talks with the U.S., which is a great sign. I know there was speculations of this taking place, so we may actually have a big trade deal with China coming in the not so distant future. Again, sometimes these things take time to work themselves out, but it's a step in the right direction. And what's also interesting is that people are really starting to bet in a positive way on the crypto market. Someone opened a 40x long. They're currently in $5.4 million in unrealized profit. So that's a great sign. Institutional money, once again, having another big day, $321 million added by institutional players. BlackRock was the big portion of that, adding $356 million worth of BTC themselves. So this is all looking very good. But what I found very funny is even right here, there has been an increase in confidence in the market. Retail is livening up. This is all great. But who has not gotten out of the way are the bears, the shorts, the naysayers. Look at what has been happening since ADA actually ran all the way up to about, what was that? Gosh, 82 cents or so. All right. You guys can see big presence of short interest once again, right? Yes, there is long interest down here. Yes, it crept up behind it. And that's something that we're going to have to watch. But this is also taking place in other charts throughout the space, okay? So in terms of BTC, you guys can see the same thing. Hard resistance set right here at about, about 104, all right? Now, what's really comical about this is they have flocked back in such a way that we are currently sitting at a short imbalance. So right now there's almost 5% imbalance to the short side in terms of ADA, but ADA is not the only one. You can track this in almost anything. BTC, about a 3% imbalance. In terms of Ethereum, you guys are seeing about a 3% imbalance as well. In terms of XRP, yeah, we're seeing about a 3% imbalances there as well. So right now there are, once again, people coming back that are trying to hold the market back and push it down. And that might not work out too well for them. All right. Now, over the last 12 hours, you guys can see more shorts than longs got wrecked. Over the last 4 hours, it's pretty even. Last 1 hour was more longs or so. So we're kind of doing these ebbs and flows, the chops like we're talking about. But there is a distinct line of short interest above here that once we do start moving, if there is some excitement, if there's some news, you could actually see a little bit of a weekend burst. Again, circling back around to the higher volume moves the chart. So if we're having higher volume and we get good news this weekend, that might be what actually sends us into the early part of the week, might send ADA actually up to some of these higher levels. Again, just to give you guys an idea, when we were talking about that Wyckoff accumulation model, I don't want to keep bringing this up, but I think it's important to note that right now we're in this SOS range. I mean, we could be talking about a break to some much higher prices. You could be talking close to $1, a little over $1, just getting into next week. All right. Now, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that, but definitely some stuff to monitor moving through the weekend. Me personally, I'm just relaxing, watching, waiting. Haven't even seen crypto search traffic really surge in a big way yet. So we're in a great spot for this next big boom in the crypto space. And it's a question of, basically what day does it start? So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one.